What's up, J3J in the house. I was talking to one of my friends from New York, and he saw my videos, and he mentioned something that he said I did not talk about concerning emotionals, or basically the imagination, okay? Imagination, I call free will. And I was talking about these video games, okay, video games, and why do people play these video games? And I say usually it's because they don't have a reason. Well, actually, not playing a video game is not bad. What I said was that when you neglect your homework or neglect the responsibility to do or play a video game, means to me, it just means that whatever this 1 + 1 = 2, this equation that you were supposed to do, or maybe you didn't understand it, then you substituted it. This looks like any of you guys, I'm sorry, it's not supposed to. Okay? They substituted it for, because they didn't understand the problem, so they substituted to do this. They substituted doing this problem by playing a game, but there was no reason for them to do that. So the reason that they did it was because of they interjected their feelings, okay, or the physical stimulation. So here, basically, what I said was that here, equation is like the truth, whatever. No physical stimulation is here. Okay, these are just all facts. No stimulations. Okay, no physical stimulations. Here there is. So here, if you don't understand, then here you must open a book or refer to your dictionary or whatever. But this person here didn't do it, so instead of doing this, they started playing these video games. And the reason they started playing video games is because of this here, which they didn't know, which is an unknown factor. An unknown factor which came from them not doing their homework. So they didn't understand this. But it's an unknown factor, and this unknown factor, they placed it there, and they know they shouldn't be playing video games, but the confirmation from playing the video games is from their emotions that was replaced. It replaced this with this, which equals to the video games. Now he said there was the reward of winning a game or something like that. Well, actually, the reward of playing this video game actually is the physical stimulation. So what happens is you're supposed to do your homework, you don't do your homework, and then you say, well, this is too difficult, or it's taking too long. So basically, you're doing this homework, but instead of engaging the homework, you're thinking of, well, how I'm going to do this homework, or how am I going to solve this problem? And you're doing it through your head before you even open the book. Okay, because mathematics, everything is given. There is nothing hidden in mathematics. You're only dealing with a whole that is either, I shouldn't say that. That is either added to, or taken from. And taken from is going to be subtraction. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so when you take from a whole, it's going to be a fraction. When you add to a whole, it could be a fraction or another whole. It just depends on how you're doing it. So actually, mathematics, there's nothing hidden in mathematics. You know, basically it's just you got an A, and plus AB equals to C. And either you got to find this is going to be missing, or this is going to be missing, or this is going to be missing. That's it. That's it. And there's a relation to finding those. The only difference is as things get longer, or they're using different objects and conditions or whatever, just they have to create these vocabulary, and you must know the vocabulary. Otherwise, this is math. This is all you're doing. And either you're adding or subtracting, adding or subtracting, adding or subtracting. And I didn't use multiplication because multiplication is just adding the same number. Division is just taking away, subtracting the same number. So it's all the same. So they didn't understand this, and so they saw this question here, and they were like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And because they don't know what to do, then they're thinking like they're getting confused. And so they need some type of confirmation. But instead of saying, okay, well, let me look in the dictionary, because if you look in the dictionary or you look up the words or you go over the examples again, here you can do the problem, because 1 plus 1 is 2. Tell me, how many of you guys are out there jumping? Because 1 plus 1 equals to 2. Raise your hands. I bet you some people are. Because 1 plus 1 equals 2 is very, very important, and it's very, very exciting, and you should get excited because it is. Because this 1 plus 1 equals 2 created everything that's around here. Okay, but if you don't understand it, there's no excitement. So because those people who don't understand it, there's no excitement, there's confusion, and because the confusion creates an unknown, and then this unknown, they start thinking about, well, I need some type of a stimulation or whatever, and then this unknown equals to, I don't understand, so I'm going to play a game, but I know I have to do this, so what can I do? You know, because they're going to start feeling guilty for not doing this. Then they go, okay, I'll just substitute this physical stimulation, and I won't feel guilty, I'll feel good, but it's still the same situation, it's just the image that's there. And then they're going to start playing the video games. The reward of playing games is physical stimulation. And that's it. Now, what goes on here, there are two things that's happening. This happens in a lot of our relationships, drug addictions, violence, all kinds of things that's going on. Two things that happen, okay? And so let me see. First, there's just thought and physical stimulation. Here, let's say, I want to use something, I can't say that bad. So let's say two friends are, no. Let's say the imagination is, okay, let's use, I like boyfriend-girlfriend relationships. Okay, so a guy eating dinner with a woman. Okay, so he's eating dinner with some woman that he saw a long time ago, or that he sees and he wants to have dinner with her. So before he goes over there and engage in the real non-physical stimulation, which means that the only thing that he knows for a fact that he can do that's real is just walk over there to her and say, hi, can we go to dinner? Now, if you have time. And of course, let's say this is a nice guy, okay? And they're in Los Angeles, and they might be on Sunset Boulevard. Oh no, let's use the Promenade. And there's a restaurant there, and they're right there in front of it, and say we can go right here. Okay, it's safe, and You know, we could just eat, and then if you don't want, after we finish dinner, you know, if you want to leave, you can, and that'll be it. I want to pay, you know, or if you want to pay and use it for deductions for your business, then fine, you know, it doesn't matter. And he can do this. But when you do this, remember everything in here, there is this here, physical, there is no physical stimulation. There's only an equation. And this he can do. So when you guys go out there trying to pick up women or whatever, this is all you can do. This is real. This is real. You can go over there and you say, hi, can we go to dinner? Can we have lunch? Can we do this? This is all you can do. This is finished. That's it. Okay? No one does that. Why? Because there is no physical stimulation. Now this is what you should be doing. And if you do this, you'll have a whole lot less problems in your life. But what goes on is, let's say they don't do this because there is no physical stimulation, then he's going to actually start imagining him. He's going to start imagining him and her at dinner. Okay. Okay. And her engaging dinner. So they're gonna be, they're gonna be sitting at a table. She's gonna be wearing a nice dress, or because he's not gonna ask her to go that day. You know, she's met a nice dress and everything, and she's happy, and they're both drinking wine or whatever they drink, milk, or best thing to drink is water maybe, or some smoothie or whatever. And they're having a nice dinner, and they're having a nice conversation, and this is what he is imagining. And as he is imagining this physical stimulation is being in here, okay, in this, but actually it's just in his body, okay, but he's trying to put it in here, and he's psyching himself out thinking that it's here. Actually, the physical stimulation is here, and he's feeling it in his body, but he's thinking it's because of this. And it's not because of the image that he creates. The image is there. And actually, this image, really, there is no physical stimulation in that image. It's just like 1 + 1 = 2. But what makes it real is that he purposely released those hormones himself to make that real. So his body is all shaking, but his mind is like, yeah, oh my God, that feels good. Yeah, we can go to dinner. Oh yeah, you know, it's gonna taste like this. Oh yeah, she's gonna sit like this. Oh yeah, she's gonna dance like this and dress like this and gonna be looking like this. And then he'll call her, and then okay, and so he does that. This is the first stage. This is like the first stage. This here is okay. Whether it's you going home and you want to argue with your wife, or you want to take her out, or somebody's doing black on black violence or whatever, before they actually do the physical thing, doing this is okay because nothing has been done. And the greatest feeling that you're going to have with this here is going to be this. This is it. This is going to be the max. Then your second stage is going to be engaging the image in a physical state, or physical state, or in the physical state. Basically, what I'm saying is right here is going to be the guy and the woman actually going out, and then he's excited, she's excited, and you got both of these in this physical stimulated, physical stimulated, how can I say, mood, mood, okay? And so while they're talking and blah, 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 then he's happy. But as the conversation goes on, what actually happens and what he thought about might not be the same, because there are other very, very many variables inside of there. And this might be, let's say, if she says, you know, before we start this dinner, they have a toast, and they say, before we start in this conversation, I just want to let you know that I am STD positive. And what's going to happen? Well, in a normal sense, then he should say, oh, okay, I understand that, thank you, but, you know, I'm not interested in you in the physical. I'm just interested in you in the mental. Let's have a conversation, see whether you have STD or not. You know, they got cures for that, for those things. But I'm more interested in a business type of a sense, or being friends and something, you know, networking and things like that. But of course, you guys are saying, no, that's not true, because maybe this guy's trying to pick up the girl and he's trying to do something else. And when she says that the first thing he's going to do is this whole image that he's trying to recreate in here, which of course is not going to work, is going to be destroyed. And it's going to make a frown on his face, you know. And then he's like, oh boy, you know, he's komateru. That means he's troubled, and he doesn't know what to do. You know, so he could just go on and fake it. And of course, his whole, the feelings are going to be the same, but his whole image of the situation is going to be like, oh my. And because it's oh my, it's going to be it's going to cause him to have a frown on his face or whatever. The whole thing is the stimulation is still there. It might not be as flowing as much, but it's going to be there, or it might even flow more. And he's like, oh my God, I want to get out of here. And then he might make some excuse, say, okay, you know, I'm sorry, you know, I can't do this. I'm sorry, put some money on the table and leave. You know, but the whole thing is the stimulation never changes. It's just the amount of stimulation that you have. So this could be the same when you have police officers. You know, they say this premeditated, you got to prove it, you know, that he actually did it. Well, the whole thing is you got to prove that people are able to conduct an action without a thought. And I believe that is impossible. Okay, it's like me standing here and I want to do something, and if there is nothing, no image in my head, no program, then I'm not going anywhere. Now, I'm not saying that they can electrocute me and my body moves, or put some type of, give me some type of food, and you know how it is sometimes men, they eat something or something happen, all of a sudden their penises just get erect for like 3 or 4 hours, you know, and it's just, and it's hurting, you know, and it's painful, you know, and they can be there and they may have sex with their wife all for the whole 3 hours, and it's just, and then all of a sudden it'll go down, you know, after so many hours. A lot of guys experience that. And those things, what I'm saying, those are like involuntary things that chemicals and maybe, what is that called, vitamins and minerals and herbs or whatever reacting to your body. So that's something that you can't actually control. The only way you can actually make your sex organ get hard is you have to think of something that's exciting enough to make you get stimulated enough to make you do that. But the minute your image goes away, it drops. But naturally, without you doing anything, there are things that'll boom make you become erect, so you and your wife can spend 3 and 4 hours trying to produce another baby and stuff like that. So here, the first stage is safe. This is safe because it's only in your head. But when you do the second stage, this here is where you need to exercise a lot of caution, because this will get you in trouble. Okay, it will get you in trouble. And let's say like lately there's been a lot of police brutality, you know, and it happens to everyone, you know. They only show black people, and I think it's good that they're showing black people, because it gives us a chance to see what's going on in the neighborhoods and saying, okay, well, you know, this is bad, you know. They're not showing the world. I look at it and say, they're not showing the world how bad we are. That's what they think they're doing. But actually what they're doing is they're showing us our errors and things that we need to know to correct ourselves. And then you have to understand, when it happens over there are other places in England, it's happening the same way. And not just to black people, to other people. You go to China, it's happening there. You go to Russia, it's happening there. You go to America, it's happening there. How is it happening? Because you have these people who are in authority, like the men who are married to their wives, domestic violence. You have these parents who are in authority over their kids, domestic violence. You have these kids who are physically bigger than their parents and stronger, domestic violence. You know, so it's there. These people who, because power is only a temporary thing where someone can enforce their will on you and you have no defense. You can't stop it. Okay, and that's it. It's really simple. You build a defense and you can stop it. Okay? And that's the only problem black people have with this quote-unquote white racism. Or, I wouldn't say white racism, because really that doesn't even exist. This is white racism. Okay, it's just a figment of somebody's imagination that I am better than the black person, and they only got the confirmation here because if you go scientifically, science will never ever, can never ever prove that white people, or not to say white people, but white supremacy is the best, and black people are the lowest on the. No, there's nothing, because just walk out into the sun. You know, I get a lot of people talking blah blah blah. I said, come on. Let's go out in the sun. Let's just stay there. And they're not coming. And I'm like, well, if you want to, the greatest judge of who's better is the sun. Like they got this video called How the Sun Sees You. You guys need to watch that video. Just punch in exactly that, How the Sun Sees You. And it's pretty cool because it's like they put the sunscreen lotion on them and they put on the UV light and they got black body in themselves. You know, it's like the black face on their body. And these people are like, oh my God. And this one white guy, he was looking and looking. He started smiling and he was like, oh man, I look good black, right? So anyway, it's all BS. Okay, when they're showing this on TV, that is there for you to evaluate and grade and help yourself, because if they stop showing that stuff on TV, then unless people work and they communicate, nothing's going to change. They are they're using their television as a communication network for us to be able to use. Saying, oh my God, you see that black lady? Look at those houses. Let's go over there and fix these homes. Go over there, go to the government. Hey, we got our construction. We're going to do this, do that. They can't say no. If they say no, you can take them to court. Okay, and help these people build them homes. Help these kids understand math. All you gotta do is say, son, daughter, listen. This is all you gotta find. This is all math is. That's it. Multiplication is a fast way of adding the same number, this and that, and you do this and you show them, and then once you show them that, then you have to tell them you must use a source for reference, or a source of reference. Okay, for reference. You must. And you open up the dictionary, kid, like, I don't know what cosine. You know, you have kids cosine, sine, and tangent. If you look up in the book, all they are just fractions. A over B, I think B over A, and I think C and C maybe, and then I think this might be B over A or something like that. I might get it wrong, I'm sorry. You know, I could look at my Okay, yeah. So here I'll just get my Wi-Fi real quick and turn it on. And if you don't really know, you just flip it and just put a cosine trig. Trigonometry. It comes in, and then it says trigonometry, and then math is fun. Bam. Click on that, and then it's going to say what is trig. Trig is all about triangles, and then it has the hypotenuse and the opposite, blah blah blah. And then it goes cosine, sine, theta. Okay, and then here you got to, and I'm just doing this. This is real quick. I mean, this is what you actually can do. So here you got the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is just this to here. Actually, this is supposed to be a circle, and I think this line here is going to be the center. Let's see, yeah, and it's going to be the circle here, and it's going to be radius, but we'll call this adjacent, and this is opposite, okay, opposite, I think that's okay. And then they're going to have, and it's just like this. So the sine is going to be a fraction, it's going to be the opposite over the hypotenuse, okay, and then the cosine, here, you guys already got that. Then the cosine is just going to be the adjacent over the hypotenuse, okay, and then the tangent, okay, and it's going to be an angle, so the tangent of sine theta, okay, it's going to be the opposite, which is going to be b, opposite over the adjacent, okay, and then it's abbreviated. And then here, all of this is just, so they got this thing, so like if you have a, oh man, come on, my pencil. Okay, cool. Not a pencil. I always call these markers pencils. I really don't understand why I do that. Okay, so then here, you get it here, and then let's say, okay, so then here, it's like, they got this question here, problem here, sine of 35 degrees. Oh man, come on. Sine of theta is 35 degrees. Okay, and they got a triangle and all that stuff. And then they're going to say the sine of 35 degrees, they got this triangle. And this triangle, we're going to, okay, it's the hypotenuse, leave it there. Hypotenuse. Okay, hypotenuse. I'm tripping. Okay, oh, blah, fail. Okay, so here you got a sine 4.9, so the hypotenuse is always going to be the longest. Here, the adjacent is going to be here. And then here you got 2.8. And then you got the sine. What's up? Just if you're okay, sorry about that. I just finished my talking, and I went to look at the video and it cut off. Can't believe it. So what I talked about was pretty good. Remember, did a lot of runs, so I'm going to make this like really short because I'm tired. But anyway, basically, this is what what trigonometry is. Okay. So if you don't know, just look it up. It's really simple. What was that? Opposite over the adjacent. You guys know what adjacent means? Who knows what adjacent means? Okay, adjacent means just next to. Okay. The adjacent side, the side that's next to it, the side on the opposite of the other side, and stuff like that. Okay, and then you just do that, and then say the problem that they did was what is the sine of 35 degrees, and then it's going to be just the opposite, which is going to be 2.8. 2.8 divided by 4.9 equals to 0. Equals to 0.57. Okay, and that's it. So, what is trigonometry? Trig is fractions. Okay, that's the trig part. These are fractions. You know, you're doing that as fractions, and just fractions of what? Fractions, and then of course you have the decimals. The decimals are fractions. They're, what are they? You know, decimals just this type of interpretation, but they're all the same, just part of a whole. The whole is 1, it's only 57%, I guess, of the whole and stuff like that. Okay, so this is easy. So when you're on CNN, they're showing that black kids are doing bad in school. Well, I was watching Hidden Colors, and one of the guys, Hidden Colors, one of the guys said, hey, you know, we're back in the old days, you know, they taught us properly. So you got a lot of teachers who know how to teach in the black neighborhoods, and they're old and they're just sitting around doing nothing. Get them to teach the kids because they know the proper way to teach and educate them. And I grew up in that era where teachers actually took time to teach kids. But as time went on, kids just got a little wilder and wilder, and things got out of hand. Okay? So, CNN, evidently there's two things going on. Either we are idiots, or they are helping us. Okay? And what I mean by helping, hopefully I said in the other part of the video, they're just, when they're showing what the things that black people are doing on TV and around the world, are they doing the same? Black people, they're saying black people. Oops, I don't know how I did that. Black people, look at yourselves. Okay? Now don't believe the hype that they're saying that the other countries say, oh, black people are no good and everything. There's bad people in every country. These countries, they might show you, you know, the nice areas, but like they said on Digital Underground, all around the world the same. So Ice Cube said the world's a ghetto. When you travel, you see that there's not that much difference. There's not that much difference. In Japan, it's the same as America. You got these low-income areas here, bam, rich area right there. Now they got some places like in Hyogo where, you know, the areas are like only this many millions, this million, you know, blah blah blah. And you got a circular, I guess, here now in New York, you know, the rich are taking over Harlem, you know, and pushing all the people who don't have money out. Okay, but this is what they're doing in the news. This is what they're saying. Black people, look at yourselves. And we need to take advantage of that because we do not have the communication abilities or the TV satellites and all this stuff around the world showing us what we look like so we can help each other. We need to look at them, stop criticizing, and start thanking them. Go to these neighborhoods, you see these houses that are broken down. You got constructions you can build. You go to the government, say, hey, I got this. They say you have to take these tests. If you already know, just pay and take the test. Help them people build homes, teach them, help them pass the test, and everything. And you can also, I think this one lady, they some black neighborhood, I don't know, but they separated, you know, and changed the zones or something, and they're doing well. Okay, because I made this thing called Your Own Country, and it was pretty good what I wrote, but I didn't get paid for it, so I deleted it. But it was saying, I wonder if we were to have our own country within the United States, and we had some states and stuff, how would we survive? Well, the whole thing is, if we don't communicate with each other, then we're going to have a lot of problems, because there are a lot of problems a lot of people who are imagination, that if we had our own place, that it would be great. But there's no equation here, there's nothing. Okay? And it's only here they get this physical stimulation. But the laws of nature, they're equations. Okay, there I go, spelling again. Equations. Okay, it looks so strange. Equations. And here, no stimulation. No stimulation. No physical stimulation. This is all facts. So you got these people, you're going to have a whole bunch of black people, no views. And some people do, black people do have straight hair. So, and I mean naturally straight hair, so I should say that. Okay? And here, the physical stimulation, and they're thinking this, and they're adding this into here for some reason. Actually, it's not there. This is just like a layer, what is that, mapping or something like that. And so they're thinking it's going to be great, but they don't have a solution. We need our own town, but who's going to be the president? Who's going to be the mayors? How are you going to, what currency we're going to use? You know, I already said that. I think the United States was going to give us something like $15 trillion, you know, which is more than what we would make in 10 years. At the current $1.1 trillion that we are giving, we're making and spending in other people's communities and not circulating in our own communities, and all this stuff. I mean, just think about it. How many of us or you have a national plan? Period. I mean, from government to policing to schooling to the people eating, to education, the money, security, TVs, nuclear facilities, communications, telephones, cars, gas, international marketing, international relationship, international diplomacy. In your homes, what about all the different religions? If we were to have that and we had to start over, you know, you got all these groups, and everybody's going to be competing for, I'm thinking you're going to be competing for power. And that's not what it's all about. We're competing to build a nation. Okay? I said in the other video that was gone. Let's see. I'm not sure if I did it, so I'm going to do it in this one. I don't think I got to it. Here, when you are going to school, the beautiful United States of American government makes you go to school. From kindergarten to the 12th grade. That's going to be a total of something like I don't know. Sorry about that. This thing is on here kind of balanced. Okay, ooh, okay, I'll move that over. I should have left it like it was. Whoa, that was wicked. Yes. That was really strange, okay. Okay, it was a little slang, sorry. I need to leave it as it is. Okay, so oh no. Trying to get the hours. Okay, so from the 12th grade to the kindergarten, let's say if you're in school every day approximately 7.5 hours altogether from kindergarten to 12th grade is going to be 24,700, 25,000. 25,000. See, now someone told me to grab the towel and do this. I didn't want to do it, and this rush came into me. 25,740 hours of no, know thyself time that the government forces us to do. This here is guarded. This here is guarded. When you are inside of this, your parents can't hate on you. Your friends, bad friends, can't bother you. There is no police. I don't like saying police. There are no bad people who are unfortunately working in law enforcement agencies to bother you. When you are in this area, you are protected by the government. Uh-oh, let's go government. I wonder, government. Oh man, I think that's so wrong. Government, what's that? Environment, government. Okay, whatever, we'll just leave it like that. If it's wrong, you guys can criticize me later. Okay, you are protected by the government. So they got this, now they got this, from school to jail thing. What was going on what you guys gotta understand is as these kids start getting power over their parents, because the parents are not raising them correctly and not teaching them, you know, to control their imaginations and stuff like that. These kids go to school and they fight each other. Listen, you go to school, you only go to school for one person, and for one thing, and that's to know yourself. You got 27,740 hours to learn. That's a lot of hours. Of course, minus whatever here in your lunchtime, your break times. But that's still the max. You're going to have about 25,740 hours of nothing to do but studying. And if you open up a resource like I did with my iPad, when you had a problem, it's right there, and all you do is keep doing it. If you don't know what adjacent meant, it just means next to it, the closest next to it. You know, bam, bam, bam. Then you're going to do that. You're going to do well. You're going to do well. If you don't have a dictionary, then I advise you to go out and get these big, thick dictionaries. This is a dictionary. This is a thesaurus. A thesaurus define words. Dictionary define the words. Thesauruses give you other words that you can use to increase your vocabulary, and those other words are the same as the words you already know. So it's like you're going to say big, you're going to have large, enormous, mammoth, and stuff like that. Okay, it's there. It's not hard. The only thing that you make it hard when you're studying is here. Is your images. Again, here you have study. What you're trying to do is you're trying to think from A to Z about how the study will go. Okay? And this is what you're doing. How the study will go. This is what you're doing. You're thinking about that. You're trying to imagine it. But you can't. It's impossible. So because you can't, you become confused because you can't do it. And so then, you can be confused, and then so you're going to make some excuse to go out. And in this here, you're going to fill with your emotions, or you're going to verify with your emotions, even though this and this have nothing to do with each other. And then you're going to go out and do something crazy, and that's it. And so when you go home and you start to studying, then you say, well, I can't do this, and I can't do that, and I can't. No, you can do it. It's simple. Your body has not created to everything that's in your body is not created for you to fail. It's created for you to not just be able to do something, but also to excel to wherever the height there is, maybe even to where God is, or if that's what you believe, or whatever. But you are not by any means dumb. Now you might do foolish things by not studying and going out with your friends and getting in trouble and end up in jail for however long, and that's foolish. But you are not dumb. You're not unintelligent. You don't have any learning disabilities. I have a couple of friends. I was talking, one is in LA, one is in another state, and one was a truck driver or whatever, I think, and he was like, I'm 25, I have a learning disability, and I just burst into laughter. What do you mean you got a learning disability? He would say, yeah, I was diagnosed as a learning disability. I said, well, can you speak? He said, yes. I said, can you add? He said, yes. I said, can you subtract? He said, yes. I said, can you read? He said, yes. I said, do you know how to use a pencil? He said, yes. Do you know how to use a razor? He said, yes. Do you know how to use a pencil? He said, yes. Do you know how to use a dictionary? He says, yes. And I said, okay, well then where is your learning disability? If you can use those things, then why can't you learn? And the dude started laughing. He started laughing, okay, because he believed this image that somebody was doing, and what we are doing, black people, is that we are feeling this here, the stimulation that you release your stimulation yourselves. You have total control over it. Okay, now how much you release and how long is going to depend on the images, but you can do it. So if somebody's telling you you are dumb, or learning, you have a learning disorder, disorder, which is impossible unless you don't have a brain. You have a learning disorder. Oh, Kawaiso, I feel sorry for you. And then you're like, you can't comprehend this. You're like, huh? And so the only way you can comprehend this is by releasing this. And this is this physical stimulation that you just adding into it or whatever to make yourself, I do, because you know the preachers and everybody's saying, well, you know, God, He's going to make you just believe it's going to be a feeling, and that's not true. That is so far from the truth. It's a shame. And then you're going to think of this, and then you're like, okay, well, I got a learning disability, so you know, And then somebody said, no, you don't. You're like, you telling me I ain't got no learning disability? I got a learning disability. Can you write? Yeah. Can you use a pencil? Yeah. No. Can you use a dictionary? Yeah. Can you add? Yeah. Can you subtract? Yeah. So where's your learning disability? I guess I don't have one, huh? You know, talk to a friend. He's in college. In LA, he is in college. And he was saying that, yeah, I was diagnosed with a learning disability. And I burst into laughter. I'm like, well, what you doing in college? He started laughing. I'm like, oh my God. It's not even, I mean, I can understand the racism that we went through and the problems that we went through, because they're like, well, they doing this and they doing this to us, but those were crimes. And those people back there, when you were when they were committing crimes against you, you had all the right to protect yourself. No land law cannot define that above the law of nature, because when you, just like it was this video, I don't know if it was faked or not. This guy tried to what's that with the thing sealed? I forgot what they called it, but they had this metal and they tried to, I forgot what it's really going bad. They tried to put a seal on with a hot iron or something, and that horse kicked the head, boom! I mean, I don't know if that was real or not, but the whole thing, even nature. So when they make these laws saying like, well, you can't resist arrest and stuff like that. Well, you know, you're adults. You know, something is wrong there. So you have to learn the laws and everything, put yourselves in there and change that. But you don't even have to go that far. What you got to do is you got to go and you got to tell these people what's going on, that they're using their imagination. They saying there's no such thing as premeditation. But you tell me how can you move your body without you thinking of an action first? It is impossible for me to just sit here and have a blank mind, and I want to go to the door, but I can't control the fact of how much I'm going to, you know, walk into the door. I just can't sit there and just automatically go to the door without making a program for my body to go over there. Just like something says, okay, check the time, or you know, if there's any messages. So I said, okay, and then I sent it to my body to move, and then that's what I did. You know, and even for me, if I had to, even because I'm leaning back, so I had to like put some pressure to push me off and all that stuff. So they have to prove that you can move your body without having anything to do. Now I can understand these reactions of flight swat, but you got to think. And I think I said in the other video, how fast can you think? You know, how fast does the mind actually think? How fast does it take 2 minutes to think about something, or 1 minute? You know, when your body moves, how fast really is our body? How fast can our body really move? You know, how fast? You know, nobody really knows. You know what I'm saying? So, so when you have those rules where they tell you to suffer the beating because it's the law. Well, you know, there's a trick to it. Imagination, all those people that are working in a law enforcement agency must create an image to harm you first. Then they do it. It has to be an image of what they're going to do. You got, you see these cops where, I shouldn't say cops, I'm sorry, that's not good because cops has a title. You see these people working in these law enforcement, these regular human beings working in these law enforcement agencies, and they're doing something they're doing something and they're telling somebody to put their arm behind their back. And if you look logically at it, you're like, well, how can this person put their arm behind their back and you're sitting on it? Because when you're putting so much pressure, their body is automatically moving so it can breathe. So you can breathe. But when you move to get to breathe, they're thinking it's a rest. And they don't, and I'm thinking to myself, these people are really high off of their emotions, their physical stimulation. Okay, they must be really high off of that. And if you, now hopefully I said this in the other video, if I did, you give me a double up. But if it's true, then what's going on is that this is premeditation. Okay, this is premeditation. Okay, premeditation, and then it goes into the second stage where it's actually the act, but because the physical stimulation that you're creating with your glands will not equal, it'll probably be less than the physical. This here is going to be like, let's say 1,000 liters, whatever. This here is going to be 500 liters, okay, liters or whatever, milliliters, or what, yeah, I should say milliliters, and this is going to be 1 liter, okay, 1 liter, and it's going to be less, but here you imagine 1,000, so you're going to act more than you first thought. Okay, so you got, I mean, it's like was one video I saw this these two brothers from this one brother, and one brother was on the brother had his arm like this, and the other cop, the other human had his arm behind him, and he's on top of him, telling the guy to put his arm behind him, but he has to adjust his legs so he can like get more power to lift the cop off, so he can get enough room to put his arm under there. But every time he moves his leg, the other black cop is beating this guy's leg, boom, 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 and he's trying to cooperate. And there you have two human beings who are not thinking intellectually. They're not. And if they say, well, we're doing that because he might have a weapon on him or anything like that, then whatever happened, you need to get fired, because you're putting yourself and other people in a dangerous situation, because before you engage someone that close, you must make them lie in a position that is non-threatening to you, and you can say, lay down with your hands behind your back and don't move. And then if they refuse and all that stuff, then okay, so then they're just asking for problems. But there are logical ways, different ways you can do this. But, you know, I'm going to just forget about that, okay? Black people, you have to understand, people of the world, you just have to understand equations. There is no reason, no physical stimulation here, and we all know it is real. We all know this is real. Okay? We can live here. When you live here, when you live here, your gains and your losses. You're going to gain humans. You're going to lose, I don't want to say animals because that's it. You're going to lose evil thoughts. Or I should say evil people. I don't know how to say it. Bad people. You're going to lose bad people. And what I mean by bad people is reactors to stimulation. You're going to lose that. Here, too, you're going to gain families. You're going to lose dysfunctional families. Okay, you're going to gain communities, and that means schooling, and economics and all that stuff. Okay, you're going to lose neighborhoods, just people just, this would be a community that has no function, just people just gathered together. You're going to create nations, okay? You're going to lose weak nations. I wouldn't say necessarily weak nations, but you're going to lose, again, dysfunction, unstable nations. When you think like this, you have nothing but gains. And you never know, maybe this is what your God's waiting for you to do. And when there's enough people that get like this, He's coming and grabbing them people, and those people who want to just, you've been told. It's just your stimulation, your emotions that's making you doing this, that image. Because this image here and this here is going to be about the best or the closest, or this is actually the stimulation that you're going to get, and that's it. This here will never equal. This and this will never be equal. Okay, it never will. These psychiatrists and all this stuff, they know that when you release your stimulation or your hormones, they know two things are happening. They know your mind goes blank for a while, or it doesn't control your body. It can't, because of the fluids and stuff that's going through your body. It might even numb your brain a little bit. And also that those fluids are like gas, and once it's in an engine, it's ignited. You got to wait till it burns up, and they know that. So they'll tell rich people or privileged people, hey, when you did this evil act, what were you thinking? And they're going like, I really don't remember, or I remember, but it wasn't like my mind just kind of lost control of my body. And they know that, and okay, you will say you're insane. And then those who are poor and who don't understand, they're going to say, how do you feel? You say, I know I did something bad, but actually I felt good. They're going to call you an evil monster, and you're going to get locked up. And that's because you don't study and you don't understand. Every act of evil, every negative act is here, is premeditation. And they're going to say no, but that's the truth, because they can't prove that you can do something without a plan first in your mind, and then going to your body. It can't. Okay, because your body moves from these hormones or these chemicals or whatever it is that's in your body, and your body reacts to those things. So until they prove that premeditation does not exist, which, come on, that's the real, you can't prove he thought about that. Of course he's not going to say it, but you got to first prove that a person can do something without it. But these police officers, I shouldn't say police officers, these human beings in the world, these different positions, they're just human beings. And if you want to free yourselves, free your minds, free your nations, free your fellow human beings who are working in those positions from what they're doing with their imagination, because basically this is nothing but purely mental illness. And that's all this is, mental illness. They'll do anything to get high. They'll do anything to get high. Okay? If you want to stop people from doing drugs, you got to tell them, hey, you're not, I wouldn't say drugs, drugs like in drugstore stuff, right? Okay, anyway, doing illegal substances, or even drinking too much, or smoking too much, or eating too much, you have to say, hey, I know what you're doing wrong. You're thinking first. You're thinking first. I don't know why I keep making those. You're thinking first, and then you think about it, there's no physical stimulation. This is first. And then second, you are releasing. You are releasing your hormones. And you have to tell them that people have control over their hormones. Okay? People have control over them. People don't realize they do. They think, they release, they get high just from thinking about it. And then when they add the substance, here you're already, because you're thinking that you add these substance from here and it goes here, it's going to even make it more crazy. Okay? And then you're going to feel good, or you might get sick and you keep thinking about it. And remember, it's not, they're saying that it's these drugs and then combining with your molecules or your whatever it is, you know, and it's making you crave it. It's not, I doubt that's true, because it might crave that, I don't know, I doubt it. Okay, I know for a fact that when I want to eat, the craving that I have is actually in my mind, and then I'm releasing my hormones, and they're going to have the same feelings, but because I'm thinking, well, you know, I got this thought, but there's no feelings there is no physical stimulation, so I release this, and I'm thinking that is in here, this image is in here, but it's not, and so I'm able to control it. Yes, I still eat ice cream because I just like the taste. And then I'm thinking like, okay, well, I like the taste. What do you mean I like the taste? Because what is it like? Because if you had no taste buds, no feelings, then, you know, what is there to like? If you don't have any feelings, then how are you going to drink or have an addiction for anything? You know what I'm saying? Or how are you going to fall in love if you don't have feelings? So here, nature, you don't need those feelings. Your feelings are for one thing only. They are to protect you they protect your body from harm. So like I was talking to some friends and we were talking about urinating, and I said, you know, it's kind of funny. You know, he was like, what? And I said, well, when guys urinate, maybe women do the same thing. When you finish, then how do you feel? He said, I feel good. And I said, you know, it's kind of funny. You know, that you feel good because you're urinating? Come on, think about it. And he thought about it. He said, yeah, that is kind of funny. Why would I feel good because I'm urinating? Because my friend told me about endorphins. He said that endorphins increase the level of threshold, the threshold of pain that you can take. Because when your penis is going through that, when your urine is going through that tube, tube has a max of how much pressure it can take. And once it gets beyond that pressure, pain comes in, and when pain comes in, you're going to feel it. It's like when you're going to take a dump, and you got a big bowel movement that's bigger, and it's stretching when it's going through and it's stretching, you know, you got that good feeling. Why do you feel good? Because you're taking a dump. It's the same thing. And when that pressure gets big inside of your that tube that's going through your penis and all of that stuff, and it's getting bigger and it's rushing through, it'll feel good, but it's going to hurt you. Like, oh my God, hurry, finish. But when you finish, you're still feeling good. And what it is because the amount of endorphins or whatever it is that's making your level of threshold is not enough to deal with that pressure. And so you're going to feel it. And then you're not going to feel as much as you would if, for instance, you got stones that are coming out. And a lot of guys say like it burns and stuff. The endorphins is not made to make you resist that, because that shouldn't be in your body in the first place. And it's like when you're using the bathroom, you got a big bowel movement, and it stretches your hole, and then you'll feel like, oh my God, and then it'll pop it, and then blood comes out and stuff like that. And then you're like, oh my God, but then when you finish, it still feels good. Why does it feel good? It makes no sense. Your hormones are in your body to protect the body, to keep it functioning properly. Okay? You don't want to believe what I'm saying? After work, we are a planet of drunkards. Okay? We like to get high off our own supply. How many of you out there drink after you get to work? How many of you drink even before you get to work? How many of you drink while you work? Why are you getting high all day? That's all you're doing. You're just getting high all day. You drink all day long. You drink all night long. What is it that you are looking for? You like that physical stimulation and you just dreaming. Okay? Don't fall out. Why are you getting high every day? Even when you overeating, you're still getting high. Oh, this ice cream feels good. Oh, this cake feels good. When you smoking, it feels so good. And all you're doing is releasing your own stimulation. Listen, black people, everybody in the world, you can change. You can change. You have to understand this, and I'm not trying to discourage you guys. You want to live your life, fine, whatever. Some people, they're going to do the right things. No one has power over you. You only have, you control yourself. The law, the people who work in these governments and stuff can't control you. All they can do is convince you by force, and they can either, if they get one person and he can physically handle 100 people, then boy, that's one bad person. Okay, but one person can't do that. Okay, and so what they're going to do, so what they need is they need people to help them. They need a team. They need participation. They need people to participate. And the only way you can get a person to participate in something that you know is not good is to create this stimulation. And that's what they're doing. Okay, and like I said, they're mentally ill, and it's up to you to fix yourself and then tell it to them. And at first, of course, they're going to resist because of this, but you have to keep telling them, saying, listen, it's a thought first, and then your stimulation is going to come. And when you're doing this, what is happening is you're not giving up any. You're not going to make them give up power, because the only power they have is the power that's in their mind, and then it's only even helped because they have people participating. But what is really true power? You know, what is really true power? True power is really here. This here, you just keep people to participate, you know, but then as soon as people start participating and doing things for you, you got to do it yourself, then you have no power. Power, they say wisdom. People, a wise man, he's an old wise man. Listen, the word wise just means aware. Okay, and the only thing that wise people are aware of is that they are ignorant, and they wasted that 25,740 hours of time that the government, our loving government, gave us, and they know they wasted it. So now a lot of these old people, they are reading because now they got time, and they pretty much wasted their lives and stuff like that. You know, there's this one guy, I got a link from one of my friends about this old man, and he was a billionaire, and he was set on a boat, retired for a year or two or whatever, he's sailing on the ocean. And then he got to think, wait a minute, what am I doing? This is not fun. And he jumped back into the stock game and made another $25 billion. And the man, I think he's in his 70s, I can find the link, I'll try to find the link. And the man said he will never retire again, because when you retire, all you're doing is, it's almost like you're just losing your life and stuff. All I have to say is that you have to do this, and you're going to have to change yourself. I'm working with myself, I'm working with my kids, I'm working with my friends. You married, families, all your problems is just this. You know, I can make another video about how to help marriages using this. I think I did it, maybe, hopefully I did it in the other part. If I didn't, then, oh, I messed up. But marriages, everything, yeah, all your problem is this. All your problem is this. When you meet a woman, the best thing you do, best thing to do is say, hey, you know, what are we going to do? Because the most important thing in a marriage is not you and her staying together or whatever. It's if you bring kids into this world, and you decide to go your separate ways, you must provide these 25,740 hours at the bare minimum. Provide this for your child at the bare minimum, please. Okay, please. And I'm gonna tell you something about sex. Why are you even having sex? It's only an imagination. Come on, people, come on. What really is interesting? What really is exciting about sex? What is it? It's all imagination. There's not one of you who is trying to make babies with your wife or your husband, and that's the only person in your mind you're thinking of. We know it's not. So what's the reason? Somebody's saying it's good, or you're thinking it's good, and you're creating this, you think it's good, then you go to do it, and just like all the brothers and all men, and even the women saying, you know, that person, I finally went with them, and guess what? They're like, oh, no, not you too. And they go, yes, me too. It wasn't as good as I thought it was. How can a thought be good? It can't be. You need you need the flow of hormones to make this thought of feeling good to happen. This is a thought, and you just interjecting this. You know, you got this, your body is woo, your body's woo, and your mind is like, think, thought, more, thought, more and more. Please, everyone, buy a $3 to $5 foot massager. And, oh my God, I gotta go. What time is it? Oh, I gotta go. Okay, buy a $3 to $5 foot massager. Massager. And do what I said on my foot massager. On my foot massager, it's spelled, I think it's this, foot massager video. And you do that, and the flow of your hormones that will be stimulated by you moving your foot over those pegs will make sex not exciting. And if you do sex, trust me, you're gonna only do it for kids. I gotta go. That's the formula to fixing the world, fixing our problems, and fixing those human beings who are working in these government agencies who are mentally ill. Okay, I'm out. Peace.